You know how you can fall down a YouTube rabbit hole? You're clicking on videos that seem to have absolutely nothing to do with each other. One second, it's a sleek robot butler. The next, it's a deep dive into inner peace. Well, today, we're looking at a channel called DI Hub that is the perfect example of this digital chaos. But we're going to piece its fragments together, and I think you'll be surprised by the story they tell.
So when you first land on the D-Hub channel, it just feels like noise. And this Chinese character, Lan, it just captures that feeling perfectly. It means chaotic, messy, just a jumble of things that don't belong together. It's basically the digital version of a super cluttered room.
But what if that chaos is actually an illusion? What if all these random seeming videos are really puzzle pieces, and when you click them all into place, they form this incredibly clear picture of our lives today? Now that's the question that really got me hooked, and it's what we're going to unpack together.
And this brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. D-Hub isn't just some random YouTube channel. You have to think of it more like a mirror. It's reflecting the strange, often contradictory reality of our existence online. It shows us exactly how the digital world and the human world are colliding in some really unexpected ways. So what do we see when we look into this mirror?
Well, the first thing we see staring back at us is what I'd call the logic of the machine. It's a world that is obsessed with one thing and one thing only: pure efficiency, making everything faster, easier, and just more productive.
This quote from one of the D-Hub videos just says it all, right? Anytime, anywhere, always, 24/7. I mean, that is the ultimate promise of this machine logic. It's the dream of a world with zero friction, a world that is always on, always available, and always ready to meet our needs.
And yeah, D-Hub is just packed with examples of this logic in action. We see a humanoid robot butler that can work tirelessly, literally 24/7. We see an AI tool that can translate any language in an instant, just completely erasing the barriers that have separated people for centuries. The goal here is pretty simple: to overcome all the limitations of being human.
This hashtag pretty much sums up the entire philosophy of the machine. Hashtag do things you don't want to do. The whole idea is to automate all the boring, difficult, tedious parts of life so that we're left with, only the good stuff. But that, of course, leads to a really sharp, pretty critical question. If we actually manage to pull this off, if we automate away every single thing we don't want to do, what's actually left for us? What defines a life when all the inconvenience has been totally removed?
And that question, it leads us right to the other side of the mirror. And over here, we find the total opposite of machine logic: the messy, super inefficient, but deeply human need for connection. So just as D-Hub shows us that promise of 24/7 efficiency, it also reminds us of something else we all crave: the same hunger for connection. Now this is a fundamentally different kind of desire, isn't it? It's one that can't be satisfied by a machine, no matter how efficient it is. And the D-Hub channel shows this side of us so beautifully. In a video they call Melting Pot, you just see people sharing a meal. It's not for efficiency, it's for community. In another one, Avatar Telepathy, the whole focus is on inner exploration, that slow, quiet work of understanding ourselves. This is all about depth, not speed. So what do we really mean by connection here? Well, it's that shared human experience. You can't put it on a spreadsheet, you can't measure its ROI, it is definitely not a transaction. It's just that deep, fundamental craving we all have to be seen, to be heard, and to be understood by each other. D-Hub even throws in this simple little riddle to make the point. Ready? What can you catch but not throw? A cold, right? It's silly, it's playful, and it's a completely unproductive moment of just shared human experience. So we've got these two big opposing forces: the relentless logic of the machine and our deep, deep need for human connection. You'd think they would be at war with each other, but D-Hub is showing us that something way more interesting is happening. They're not fighting, they're fusing together. I mean, just look at these two worlds side by side. On one hand, you've got the 24/7 robot butler and the instant translator. On the other, you've got shared meals and silly little riddles. This isn't just a summary of a YouTube channel anymore, this is a snapshot of our own digital lives. So, this is it. This is the crucial point. We are not choosing between the machine and the human. What we're actually doing is using the incredible, powerful tools of the machine to try and satisfy the ancient cravings of our humanity. Let me show you how this fusion actually works. We use an AI translator, not just to close a business deal, but to have a real, human conversation with someone from a completely different culture. We consume digital content, like that avatar telepathy video, not just as a distraction, but as a genuine tool for self-exploration. You see? The technology is brand new, but the goal is as old as humanity itself.
Okay, so we've kind of decoded the D-Hub channel, but that mirror it's been holding up, it's not just for looking at a YouTube channel, it's for looking at ourselves.
In the end, that chaos we first saw on the D-Hub channel, that's not a flaw. That is the point. It's an incredibly accurate portrait of our modern lives. They're messy, they're integrated, and they're full of these beautiful, strange contradictions.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. If you were to actually look at your own digital footprint, your search history, your social media feed, all the content you consume, and you pieced all those fragments together, what story would it tell about you? What kind of fusion of machine and human would we find?